Hello and welcome back to the workshop. It's part 2 of the Philips 17TG100U repair we've been doing. We've got some arcing and sparking going on in our line output stage and EHT section. We've got a nasty, horrible hum, which is disappointing after we spent so long attempting to reform the capacitor the other day. What else have we got wrong? We've got a very funny shaped first light picture that does sort of reek a bit of having a problematic yoke, and I'll show you that yoke later on. Yeah, let's get into it. Right, I think the first thing we need to do is to tackle the tackle this cage and get it out. The set has been not operated for a number of minutes now. I'm actually recording this just after the first part is just rendering now, so it's sort of continuous phase. I've got my B&K EHD measuring stick, so I shall get that under the cap and just give it a quick discharge. Oh, this cap's horribly sticky and horrible. No, nothing in there, that's good. Okay, so nope, nothing in there, that's excellent. All right, so I'm going to worry about that so much. So that's freed up my EHT lead. Is it long? It's ever so long, isn't it? Let's get this can out, screening can out, and we can. I think it's just a simple matter of undoing these screws around the edge, I think. Let's find out. And take the top cap off our boost rectifier and our line output valve. And there's a cable clip to remove. Only it would. Where's my pliers? And of course it's broken because it's many years old and rotten. Right, okay, so I've got my can out, and yeah, things not looking so healthy in there close up. Right, it appears to get that exposed. It is these two screws here. So, yeah, okay. MK 51584 3389. Don't know what that means. None of it's a date code, which would have been nice, wouldn't it? So let's just unscrew these two screws here. I had a good look at that footage actually when I was just doing the edit of the arcing, just to try and see where it was going. And I reckon it goes to the top of this sort of, there's this assembly here. Let me just take the can off. Very nice. And I reckon it might be, you can see this is an adjustable inductor here. But let's get on that camera, you might be able to see it better. You sort of pull this, and you can see that slug moves very smoothly in and out of there. At least I presume it's an inductor. Might not be, of course. But I reckon our arc might have been going from there into the centre core of that. And there's the worrying part that I don't like the look of. If you look down in there, you can see that's sort of bubbly. Let me put a light on it for you. You can sort of see in there that the bottom of that rearward facing coil on the line transformer itself is sort of bubbly. It's been hot in its life. Just that. Oh, it's all very sticky. It's actually very soft. How strange. So that will be a worry because that's where the primary is, and there was sort of a worry about the health of the primary on these transformers that did fail. Could just be a horrible compounding faults in here. Any which way, I'm just going to give that a little clean up. Pull the HT rectifier out. It's an EY80 and it's an original Philips mini-watt one. Very nice. Another important area to clean is around the EHT connector on the CRT bowl itself. So I'm just using a bit of IPA on there just to keep that clean, prevents it tracking. I did look at the service manual earlier and I think it's 16 kV from this output stage. So yeah, fair amount of filth coming off there. Right, pop our EHT rectifier cap back on. Looks quite good now. Here's our top cap for our PL81. It's even labelled, look, bless them. And if that's the PL, it's obviously got to be the PY boost rectifier. Let's just take them out as well and give them a birth date. These aren't Philips milliwatts, these are Mullard. Philips obviously owned Mullard at this point in their career. And I noticed the mini-watt said made in Great Britain on it, so it's probably come out of the Mullard factory anyway. But I suspect the line output valve will have been replaced at some stage in its life. Also the boost rectifier. Well, set's age. You start turning up the widths to get it. Oh, well, the PY81 is a Philips mini-watt. Who knew? There we go. So, trick is not to clean all the numbers off the tubes. Two different lengths of screw, a short one and a long one. So the short one's back from whence they came. Ah, looks a bit tidier now, doesn't it? That's the top of the PL. That's the top of the PY. I'm just going to check to see if this has charged itself back up again sneakily on the sly, just to frighten me. That's one thing I didn't check actually, was the DAG spring, but it does look alright. Nothing much on there. Good. Right, that's that done. Let's tackle the can next. Right, please excuse the sound of the 3D printer running behind me. Now, we've got a nice clean can. I've had some more thoughts about that because I've slept on it. But we need to sort out that horrific hum as well. So, that's generally caused by failure of that capacitor that we spent ages and ages reforming. Maybe it didn't reform, maybe it just went open circuit, hence the current fell to an acceptable value. We've had that happen before. First things I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a photograph of the end, just so I can sort of see the wiring colours. Yeah. Zoom in as much as I dare. Right. And then I'm going to remove the can so we can make some ESR and possibly capacitance measurements of it. Right. So it's held in by a wire clip. And if we hinge the chassis back into the closed position, that wire clip is here. Oh, hello. So we push that up and push it through the hole. That should release the can. Ooh, there we go. Okay, back open with the chassis, and then we should be able to just remove the wire clip. Should be able to spin it sideways and then release the can. That's it, and out it comes. Okay, we've got 4 wires. The white wire connects to the red tag, the red wire connects to the yellow tag, the orange wire connects to the green tag, and the black wire connects to the plain tag. That's obviously negative. Right, a warm soldering iron will be required. That's okay. So let's get the thing disconnected. Right, that's the black wire, was quite easily removed. I'm going to need a pair of pliers again. White wire, a red tag. Okay, a red wire, and that is on the yellow tag, along with a resistor. Now I'm going to take one end of the resistor away. Right, that's the red wire is disconnected. Last but no means least is the orange wire from the green tag. Fabulous. One can. So I need to remove that resistor from the top there, and that is between the green and yellow. I'm only going to take one end off, whichever end would seem easiest to do. I'm thinking it's going to be this end. Yeah, there we go. Right, so that will allow us to make measurements of each section of the can. The can says Diblier Drylytic. So our red is 100 microfarads, 250 volts. Yellow is our 250 microfarads, 250 volts. And our green is our 10 microfarads, 250 volts. Only one of those sections is duff, we shall get rid. Right, let's measure some capacitance for starters. So our common is there. Reading this back, what was our 250 volt? Yellow, 250 mic, sorry. So yellow, I'll tell you one thing. Let's just make sure, that hasn't been on for a day, but just make sure there's nothing stored in there, short it out. Otherwise, it's a very expensive blowing up of the leak component tester. So yellow is 250 mic. On and test. Analyzing. There's our problem. Can you see that? It's measuring 39.67 microfarads. Can you see that? Just about. That's useless. How bad's the red section? So it would appear our reforming has not worked. We wasted our time. So our red section is supposed to be 100 microfarads, and it's utterly open circuit. Yeah. Oh, let's just make sure we've connected to that properly. Oh, 35 microfarads, that's as bad. So what's our 10 microfarad section looking like? Actually 9.75 microfarads. So the 10 microfarad section is all right, but the other two utterly useless. So let us work out what we're going to do. So they're all 250 volts. So I need 100, 250 and 10. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so I've had a look in the spares box. I've got a 10 microfarads of 450, brand new. I have got a 120 microfarads at 400 volts, brand new. That'll do in place of our 100 microfarads. And I've got a pre-enjoyed 400 volt 270 microfarad capacitor, but it is second hand. I don't know how long it's been in the drawer, so I'm just going to test it quickly. Oh, we'll just see what it measures like, certainly for capacitance. Okay, 240 microfarads, so that's okay. We can work with that. Now, eventually, that's the original can. I think I can fit these three capacitors inside that can quite nicely. So we shall take the guts out of that, as you've seen on videos before, and fit these three inside. I don't want to do that just yet. So I'm going to make a horrible cobble and just sort of stick it in there for now. The simple reason is we still don't know what the rest of the condition of this set is like, and I may well be wasting my time. And I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm just going to solder these together in a very haphazard way and make up the capacitance we need. And I'm just going to sort of balance it in there and go from there. So first thing I've got to do is couple all the ground leads together. I'm just off shot the camera, aren't I? If I do it over here, you'll be able to see what I'm doing up there. Brilliant. So I'm just going to connect all the grounds together to start with, because they're all commoned up on that on the original capacitor. So we wasted our time overnight attempting to reform that capacitor. It's utterly dead. That's the way it goes sometimes. Of course, if I'd have taken the capacitor out of the set when I did it, I wouldn't have known any different, but we could have I could have tested it before refitting it. Right, so let's just put a hook on the end of that so I can connect it up properly. There we go. Right, so that's our three capacitors. Now our, what is this, 33 ohm, 330 ohm resistor is between yellow and green. Yellow and green being the 250 and the 10. I'm going to leave that one in situ and get another 330 ohms from the box of 330 ohm resistors, which is the most awkward to get at. Oh. 330 ohms. Let's pick a nice big one. The original one was quite large. Orange, orange, brown, 330 ohms. I'm just going to put that down there for now. Right, so it goes between the positive of this one and the positive of our 10. Okay. There we go. Right, now I've just got to connect the wiring back up to the individual colours and sort of prop that in there just to keep us going. So what I am going to do before I get in there is just clean the surface of that a little so I can stick something to it, maybe stick the bottom of our makeshift capacitor there. Okay, that'll be dry in a moment. Right, so the white wire, I think that comes in straight from the rectifiers, doesn't it? White wire, white wire. I shall follow it up here, through this hole here. Goes up here, along here. Yeah, it comes straight from pin 3. Okay, where is my service manual? Downloads, Philips TG100. There we go. Right, so my white wire from the rectifier goes straight to C708. C708 is the 100 mic. So the white wire is going to go to this capacitor here. So I'm just going to form a little loop on there. I'm going to pre-tin it. And connect that to my white wire. Okay, right, so my next one, that's my black wire, so that's ground. My next one is a red wire, which comes from the other side of that inductance, which has got to be C709, which I'm betting is my 250 mic section. It is. So the red wire here goes to my 250 microfarad section, which is now more like 270. That leaves our 10 microfarad section via the 330 ohm resistor, which actually is the sound stage, which is this orange wire here. So if I lift it all into place, I should be able to tic-tac straight onto there. Don't forget, I've still got to make the black connection for ground. And I am going to prevent that from... It doesn't matter if that shorts out, I don't think. So I'm just going to pop it there. Pop my orange wire on. And we've got to make the ground connection back to chassis there. And that's super easy. Look at that. That is super shoddy. That is super shoddy. But it won't stay like that. That is a bodge to get it up and running. We should put this can to one side. Okay, we know this capacitor's faulty. We suspected those... I'm just going to pop the tube base back on. Where is it? There it is. Just because I don't want to get them caught in the bottom of the chassis and braking. Right. Okay. I will now talk to you about this capacitor here, which worries me. I think that might be the scan S correction capacitor. I need to look it up and find out. So let's find that capacitor I've got doubts about on our layout diagram. Okay, there it is. So that one there, this one here, C710, that's the one I'm doubting. So where is it in the circuit diagram? C710. Yeah, there it is. So here is the line output stage. It's interesting, they have two diagrams for the line output stage. So there's our line output valve, and sure enough, it is the S correction capacitor. So all the current from the line output transformer that's going through the coils is going through C710, 1 microfarad. I wonder how many volts it is. C710 Verite. What does that mean? Verite. C710 Verite. Do they just mean that varies? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, and that is to pull it out and have a look. Once again, I'm just going to snip it out rather than... Oh, I tell you what, that is a Phillips mustard. 1 microfarad. There won't be anything wrong with that. I'll almost guarantee it. Let's hook the tester on it. Yeah. Where has it gone? I bet you any money that there's nothing wrong with that capacitor. They are extremely reliable. Test. Go. 1.1 microfarads. There will be nothing wrong with that. Wow. Okay. I'm going to put its little yellow tube back on. I'm going to give it a clean with my hand. Where's that bit of cloth gone? Use that. There we go. I'm going to put that back from whence it came, because there won't be anything wrong with a Phillips mustard. I've left myself enough lead on there that I can solder to it as well, so that's good. Oops, drop the iron. Well, I was hoping that was going to be rubbish, and that was what was causing our arcing. It might be just the ripple on the power supply causing the arcing in the line stage, but I don't think so. But I think we're at a time when we need to just put the power back on. Yep, that's a good connection. Put the power back on and see how it plays this time. Oh, one other thing I meant to do was this width plug. I want to turn it down. So I'm going to turn the width down. I'm going to go to minimum, just to see if that eases our burden a little. Okay. Right, I'm going to spin the set round and we're going to gently put some power on again. Okay, let's get ready for that. We're at 150 volts already. This meter here that you can't really see because the soldering iron's in the way, that's across our HT again. That's better. Okay, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. 0.1 of a volt, 0.2 of a volt, we've got a way to go. Let's edge that up to 200 volts. Here we go, 9, 12, 14, 16, 17, God, it's going like the clappers now. The good news is, I can hear it humming, but it's really faint. So that's fabulous news. 185, 184. You can see the voltage is falling, so the line stage starts to come online. It all starts to draw current. There we go. Going back up again now. Oh wow! Well, right, we're still arcing over, but we've got a fairly decent picture there, look. Where is it arcing over from? Okay, there's a lot of arcing over going still. But hey, that's actually looking promising, like it isn't the yoke. I'm just going to remove my meter from the power supply. Hinge the set back round and let's have another look at this arcing issue. Oh, I've just done a run in the dark again. When I did it the other day, it was still light outside. There was still a lot of light pollution. We couldn't really see things in detail on the cameras. But we're getting some arcing from just behind the primary of the line output transformer, which is a real concern, especially after we found that goo sort of was in a very sort of gooey state yesterday. But here's the other thing. Let me just get another light so you can see in there properly. To get another light so we can put that in there. Now, this is an earth lead here, and it connects to this sort of wire spring, which connects to the, it's called the aquadag, the silver coating on the outside of the tube, which forms a high voltage capacitor, and this is the ground return for the EHT. It's arcing all the way around there, which is bizarre, because this spring seems to be good and tight, and the DAG, I can't really see. So I think what I'm going to do is just unscrew those two screws there, take the spring out. I'm going to clean the DAG, and I'm going to clean the spring up, and then we're going to put that back together, because I wonder if our EHT is actually arcing over because we've got an earth fault. Who knows? I reckon it's worth a go. Right, let's do that. I'm going to stop the handheld camera. I'm going to leave the top one on so you can see me sort of do it with a bit of luck. You've not got the best view in the world, I'm afraid. And yeah, it's not going to be the easiest thing to access in the world either. So I'm going to go in like that. I'm going to loosen those screws. I really want to try and avoid having to take the tube out if I can. What's the condition of the piece of wire? Well, it's a little bit rusty, I suppose. It goes that way round against the DAG. So let's clean that up. How's the DAG looking? You see, the DAG looks awfully scratched down there. I wonder if it's sort of worn a space away where it's been touching, and it now no longer makes a decent connection. Let's clean this up. Just got a bit of Scotch-Brite. Oh, that shows you how tarnished it is. It's gone from sort of brown to a nice pink copper colour. That's going to improve matters. Now, let's clean that bit of DAG in the corner with some isopropyl alcohol. I can see a line in the DAG where it's worn through. I reckon that's worn the DAG through and we're not getting a proper connection. How can we improve that? Now, later on, sets used to have springs, which used to be long springs that used to snugly fit a great part of the DAG. I wonder if I could arrange something similar. So, if we sort of had a spring-loaded piece of braid or something, DAC down to this DAG connection. Yeah, I can see there's definitely a line in there. Let's get that handheld camera going again, and I'll just zoom in so you can see that. Okay, click the record button. There we go. Right, so you can just see, I'll move that out of the way, there's a line there, look, where that spring makes contact to the DAG. Let me try and point at it and not knock the light over. You can see there's a line in the DAG. I need another pair of hands just there. And that, I'll zoom in. I reckon, see it there? I reckon it's worn through the DAG, so it's not making proper contact there. So we need to put something under, maybe under the spring, something conductive that will make a better contact. and try again. Right, let's go and engineer something. Okay, we're back. I'll just show you what I've done with the Handycam. I have removed and cleaned the spring. I found a new spring which I've installed at the top here and attached it to a piece of copper, which you can see running all the way along the aquedag coating. To a bit of a zip tie on the end there. So let us just reconnect the earth here. Oh, it's got stuck again. This earth wire is in a stupid place. That's better. Let's reconnect that and power up again and see if we still get arcing. Right, we're powered up. The DAG's in place. We're 200 volts. I'm starting to be able to see a slight glow in the tube. So we're looking for some arcing in there. And if we get that, we're going to have to power down, unfortunately. We have no arcing. Wow. Oh, yes we do. Still sounds like it's coming from the line output transformer. Let's dim the lights and just repeat that quickly. Right, camera can't see it, but we are staring straight down into the line output transformer. I'm just going to put it down. Oh, we can see the... No, we can't see anything really. The line stage is just starting to come up. Okay. And I think the arcing's at the bottom of the transformer. Yeah, I can just see it glowing behind it. Blast! We're going to have to take the line output transformer out again. Ooh, smell of ozone. I wonder what our EHT is. That's a point. I wonder if the EHT is too high. That's worth a quick measure, isn't it? We can do that easily. Right, stand by. EHT meter is beautifully wedged up behind the cap and is there. Try and get it so we can see what's going on. It's glaring. Oh, it's only going to work when it's upside down. Why does that always happen? Okay. Line stage, I can just about hear starting to go up now. Right, we've got 5,000. We never get above 5,000 volts. Bearing in mind, this is supposed to be a 6,000 volt set. Right, so insufficient EHT and an arcing line transformer. Doesn't bode well. Let's take that can out and go from there again. Right, what I've done to see the cause of this arcing is I've removed the cage from the line output transformer here. So we've got access all areas. I still think it's going to be down the back here. It could be this winding here. If it is, it's quite easy to repair. That supplies the heater voltage for the EHT rectifier, but it's also up at EHT potential, so it's got 16 kV on it. So that would be a beautiful place for it to be breaking down, because we can easily remake that high voltage winding. High voltage, well, it's a low voltage winding with high voltage insulation. Let's switch this thing on. I can hear the line oscillator running. Oh. I can't see where that's arcing. Okay. Right, it's going to be another trip in the dark. Is it under that side? Oh. Is it on the EHT overwind after all? Into the darkness we go. There it goes. This could be under there somewhere. Oh, it's a horrible mess. I've got a feeling it might be that winding there. It's right up behind it. Oh, I still can't really see. So it's right up under there somewhere, sort of right in at the back. Right in at the back, around, oh, Let me point with the screwdriver sort of down here. We're going to need to take the transformer out, just move it slightly, see if we can gain some more access. Right, let's do that. After some really unpleasant disassembly work, I've managed to free the transformer from the little bit of chassis it comes attached to. I've disconnected all these wires and marked them up on this plug assembly at the back here. And as you can see, it's all a bit gungy and horrible at the bottom here. This primary's definitely been warm in its time. Let's hope it's still alright. But that's not where our arcing over is coming from. Our arcing over is coming from that little spot there, look. So the AC part of the EHT comes out of the EHT overwind. Let me back out of here. That's better. Comes out of the EHT overwind into the cap, into the top of the EHT rectifier. Now the bottom of the EHT rectifier has the EHT lead, which is actually coming out here at the moment, which connects to our CRT. And it's also connected to the heater winding. So the heater winding, albeit it's only 6.3 volts, because it's an EY, it's only 6.3 volts, but it's floating up on our EHT, which is 16 kV. So this wire has to be quite robust, and that's what's happened. It's just failed there. Look, you can see it's almost clean, and that's our problem. So we've got a couple of options. We've got a few options. Possibly the easiest one is just to cut this wire off here, make a new heater overwind, and we're back in business. The only thing is we need to get some high voltage insulated wire, but we can of course use some EHT wire off another high voltage assembly or line transformer from a later set or another set or whatever. So that's quite easily doable. Or there's another option, and you know what, I'm going to tell you what that is next time here on Doz's Television Workshop. So thanks a lot, and stay tuned. We'll be back very soon. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that. I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.